Welcome live here from the skies above Pocono Raceway here on Checkered Flag Interactive. Steve Bone Steel, Shay Doherty up here in the booth, getting ready to go racing here once more for the next race here on our schedule. Race number 8 of 18. It's looking to be a pretty good one here. The new iRacing lighting and DX11 effects make things look very nice here, and I'm excited to see how the rest of things look as we get ready to hop down to the track here in just moments. Shane, what do you think we're going to be seeing out here?
Well, also, Steve, with those visual effects updates, we've also seen some big-time performance updates to the NASCAR cars, specifically the B car as well. They got a slight change in the chassis, a little bit of aerodynamics package changes. They are now the new 2016 package, and that will bring a different kind of car, at least handling-wise, for these guys around this Pocono Raceway. I had a chance this last couple of days after the build to just kind of wheel this thing and figure out exactly what has happened to it, and turns out coming off the corner of these things, a lot more loose. Throttle control is going to be very key on this build, especially at Pocono. You're going to need to carry that speed down the straightaways, very long straightaways, some of the longest you'll see in NASCAR. So it's the guys who are going to manage their tires and get the run off the corner that I think are going to be fast tonight.
Yeah, right now, as qualifying's wrapped up pretty much, looks like Chad Coleman is up on top of the boards there. Byron Daly second, Joe Lawrence, Shane Terrian, Bronson Stafford, Lariah, Nick Mass, Joseph Tice, Trevor Roppolo, and Corey Hoover rounds out your top 10. Over to you.
Yeah, currently 11th is Jamie Haley, Justin Munseal in 12th, Austin Hartenfell's back in 13th, 14th Bradley Burke, 15th Alan Cryer, 16th belongs to Brennan Madonia at the moment, Michael Finlayson, Jacob Adams, Paul Nicholas Cooper, and JD Laird are your top 20.
We'll be getting ready here in just moments, I do believe, for round 2 of qualifying, the final round, of course, and Chad Coleman is the tentative leader here as we get ready to see these guys roll off.
Yeah, definitely coming to a track, the Pocono Raceway, 2.5 miles, only 3 turns. They call it the Tricky Triangle because it is a triangle here, and iRacing actually has the older version of Pocono. It's not the newly repaved one, so we still have the bumps to deal with, different cracks, different kind of surfaces in the pavement, newer pavement versus older pavement, and then obviously just all kinds of grooves here. There's tons of racing action. Yeah, there might be only one groove, and that's on the bottom, but there's tons of lanes to make passes. Restarts here, always chaotic. You could even see 6 or 7 wide, to be honest with you, on that front straightaway, so that we can see tonight. Really, it can get pretty hectic when you come to this track, and I think we'll see some of that come to fruition, you could say, in tonight's race.
Well, we're going to hop on board here and watch as Chad Coleman completes his next set of laps here. You can see the line of cars in front of him there. Looks to be potentially letting him on by, as they're probably planning to be drafting off one another here to try to increase their teams.
Yeah, definitely. What this evening setting for the race has created is a very low track temp. Currently 85 degrees outside. You'd think, oh wow, this is scorching. It's going to be pretty hot, but that track temp only 10 degrees warmer at 95, and considering the kind of surface right now, that's actually relatively cool for these guys, and they should find a decent amount of grip out there. And especially with these cars down the straightaway kind of being slower, running in a pack of drivers, having some draft, almost like a super speedway, definitely beneficial to your qualifying time. And because it's open qual and these guys running together, they're going to try and get draft off of one another and try and use that to get a better lap time.
Right on board here with Coleman. You can see this short shoot right here is a little bit of an interesting corner because it feels like you can take it a lot faster than you can, and as the tires start to wear here, you're going to find that these cars just don't want to stick right there, and the very, very loose conditions at the exit corners here if you don't keep the car planted on the exit there. So these guys are going to be balancing quite a few differing components of the race car tonight to try to get that right balance. it as the second round wraps up pretty much here. Taking a look, Chad Coleman doesn't look to be moved off the top of the leaderboards there. Byron Daly still second. Lawrence, Terrian, and Stafford your top 5.
Definitely track position comes into play. At this racetrack passing, it's possible, but at the same time being toward the front, that's usually a great opportunity to get some clean air and really stretch yourself out. If you're back in a pack at 15th or so, you have a lot of cars to balance around, so it's definitely something to be a problem if you're back there. And the guys out front usually have a chance to break away early on because they don't have those cars to battle with. So just starting up front in general is a pretty good advantage.
Shane, let's take this opportunity to catch up with Corey Hoover, driver of the number 33. Over to you.
Yeah, here at Corey. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you guys.
All right, well, Corey, tonight it's going to be a learning game for you guys on the track and also us in the booth here with the new iRacing build. First off, what's your opinion to how this B car has changed?
First off, gotta say this weather is very strange to me. It was set to morning. I know these races are kind of run early, but it looks very different and colorful out here. So you got to get adjusted to it. But no, track's changed definitely from last year and past seasons. It feels a lot more loose, especially on the bottom. You actually have to get to the bottom to run a fast lap. I couldn't really accomplish that in qualifying, but I hope it all goes well with a bunch of cars around me.
Yeah, definitely. You're going to be starting back in the 10th spot, it looks like. Is there any keys early on you're going to use? You're going to try and go to the front early on and just kind of play it out, maybe?
That didn't really work too well for me at Charlotte. I hope they fix the net code, and yeah, I'm just going to stay patient throughout the race. It's a long race, 80 laps, so let's see what we can do.
All right, Corey. Wish you the best of luck out there tonight.
Thanks, have a good night.
Well, Shane, before we get ready to go racing here, what do you think is going to be the main component that we're going to be watching for?
Well, I think definitely, Corey just alluded to it right there. The car is going to be loose, especially on the bottom, and you have to be there to run a fast lap, so that means everyone's going to be fighting for that one lane. And because of that, you're going to have guys going hard for it, probably going to see a bunch of side-by-side racing, and that's basically what it's going to be. If you can't get to the bottom, you're probably going to go toward the back, and the guys who can stay on the bottom and don't get loose off the corner are going to be up front.
I'm going to be watching for those green flag pit stops because this place is a long pit road. And pit road speed is 60 miles an hour here at Pocono Raceway, and that means these guys are going to be trying to squeeze every little bit out that they can, which could lead to pit road speeding penalties that notoriously can get you bad here because we run those green flags.
Yeah, they definitely can, and this is a long pit road to have to make a pass-through penalty if you do speed on pit road, so these guys are going to have to watch for that. If we do see green flag pit stops, that'll be the ultimate question that we'll have to look for tonight, but that's always a key factor to watch out for.
But as we get ready to go grid up here, the field is hopping down, and you can see that the graphics do look pretty darn good. With the new DX11 not really changing how things look necessarily, but improving performance, and hopefully we'll see a little bit of a difference here on the broadcast. But cars look good, the schemes look good, the drivers seem excited. Let's talk about the points here as we get ready to go racing. Coming up right now, Byron Daly is still on the top of the leaderboards. Mark Murphy is 16 points back, followed by Lawrence Allen Pryor, 22 points back, and then Corey Hoover, two-time champion, is sitting in 5th right now, 29 points back, Shane. Talk about how surprising that was.
Yeah, definitely is. And Corey's had a start to the season. He's been taken out in a couple of races. Obviously, last week was one of them. Early on, I think he finished at least third to last, possibly even worse. So he's dug himself quite a big of a hole in the standings. But definitely something he can't come back from. We've seen the talent that Corey has, especially toward the end of the season. So 29 points back, that seems like a lot, but at the same time, a good run tonight. Maybe some of the guys in front of him have trouble. He's still in this thing and could easily get himself back up there before long.
But the field's rolling here behind the Ford First Mustang pace car, and that means we've got 25 plus drivers getting ready to go racing. And I tell you what, Shane, things are going to be a very fun race, I do believe, with all the different things that have come here on iRacing over the past few months with the dynamic track surfaces, all the talent here in the UpperEdge Racing Sportsman series we're watching tonight. I think this is going to be a really good race.
There's a lot of unknown, definitely, Steve, going into tonight, and these guys going to turn one will already know more at that point than we know at this very moment. So it's going to be very interesting. These guys love Pocono. Only get to see him maybe once or twice a year. So this is a great opportunity to have some fun at this great racetrack, and at the same time, learn some things on this new build that you can take forward for the rest of the season.
As we get ready to go racing here, all the drivers thinking about all the different things that could go wrong as we head down the short chute here. One more straightaway before the field gets unleashed, and that's what's important.
'27 car is going to start tonight. 21 took time. Colin Bowden, Mark Murphy, David Ankeny, Chris Wright, Thomas Story, and Jason Thompson, the drivers we did not mention earlier. They did not post a qualifying time, so they will start toward the back end of this field. 80 laps scheduled for tonight. Chad Coleman, inside lane, going to lead the field to the green. They get the green flag pretty early here on that straightaway. There you go. Pace car in. Green flag racing. We're underway at Pocono.
Field picks up their pace. They're going to try to fan out a little bit here, fall in the line, but we're going to go double file most likely throughout the entire field. Teammates side by side for the top spot as we're set here 80 laps on the board as the field makes it through the first corner of the night. Gosh, that looks great here as the cars come down the back straightaway. Looks like everyone's going to make a little bit of contact with the outside wall there down the back, but everyone's going to keep going straight, and that's what matters.
There is an incredible amount of shade. You can barely see half the racetrack going down that side straightaway. They call it the Long Pond straightaway. That's just because of the conditions of these guys. It's something different. They haven't seen it before, and they'll just have to deal with that the entire night there. Maybe Joseph Tice, I believe, got into the wall there. A little bit of problems. Oh, the 25! Hard wreck. I believe it was Justin Munseal. That is definitely not how you want to start your race out.
Very hard impact for the 25 there, and he's going to call the tow truck, and that's going to be his night.
Yeah, I think when we show the replay here, it's going to be a classic example of, just Pocono goes into the turn, parks it down, car gets underneath from him, and bam, right.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. He did a nice job keeping it off of those guys on his inside, but unfortunately overcorrects, ends up into the outside wall, and that will, like I said, end his night.
Yeah, cold tires, possibly cold track, not a lot of rubber on it. It's trying to dive into the corner. You can't blame him, trying to get some kind of momentum on the outside, understanding that that isn't the place to get the outside lane, and unfortunately just lost it there. That's not the first time, though. We've seen some guys do that, definitely over the years. That's something that's happened. Turn 3's always been a problem, especially on restarts for some guys, and I think right there is the exact reason why.
Taking a look right now, top 10 after our first caution here. Byron Daly, Chad Coleman, Shane Terrian, Joe Lawrence, Michael Araya, Nick Massey, Corey Hoover, Joseph Tice, Bronson Stafford, and Brandon Madonia there to round out your top 10 after our first quick caution here. And Shane, how does this set us up for these guys here as we get ready for our first restart?
Well, I think those guys, they had a full turns 1 and probably turns 2. Maybe some of the leaders got a full turn 3 in at full speed. Some of the track conditions, how the cars are on cold tires, they've got some kind of ideas. We actually see some drivers pulling it down to pit road way in the background. So those guys maybe didn't like their set of tires, or maybe just wanted to have the freshest tires in the field at this point, so they'll give up that track position. But these guys almost have an entire lap underneath. They know how the car is going to handle at least a little bit more. They'll need a little bit, probably 5 laps, I'd say, to really figure out exactly how the car is handling in these conditions. But at least they have an idea of how it is right now.
We're going to duck away real quick here, and when we come back, we've got the restart of the race for you.
We are 24 Designs, Jeff Gordon Graphics and more. We make custom graphics, logos, and even iRacing paint schemes. Check us out on the web at www.24-designs.com for requests today. Again, that is 24-designs.com. 24 Designs, where the best graphics are made.
A com comes over the spectrum with a job. All it says is an amount of cargo, a delicate timetable, and a risky route.
Rolling down the back straightaway here, getting ready to go back to green flag racing. We'll get the green on lap 5 of 80. We'll take you through the drivers that did go down pit road. Michael Finlayson, Jamie Haley, Jacob Adams, Thomas Story, Bowden, Murphy, and Thompson are the drivers that brought their machines down pit road here to get service here early on. Everybody else stayed out, obviously. It's going to be Byron Daly and Chad Coleman on the front row, leading them down into 1 and 2, that will be. And we'll see how this restart sets us up here, as we only really had 3/4 of play.
Yeah, we only did, and a nice run here would definitely give these guys a nice baseline of how the car is handling and exactly what they need to do to get toward the front, or if they're toward the front, keep that position for the entire 80 laps. Going to get the restart at lap 5. And looks like Byron Daly actually took the lead there in that first lap, so he will be the new leader on the inside lane. Chad Coleman be forced to restart second on the outside lane, the 2 black cars there. We'll see exactly what they do here when we get the green.
Once again, pace car's going to duck off here, unleash the beast. There he goes. The cars are away. Green flag back there.
Already starting to see some guys fan out toward the middle portions of the pack. Not 3 wide yet. They were thinking about it. See, Byron Daly actually pulled a little bit of a defensive move there on the restart, but he gathers it up, takes the lead. Chad Coleman from the outside lane slots into second, but they're 2 wide all behind him.
Single file here to make it through the short shoot there. File early on, it might not be so much of a problem here with fresh tires. Good job. out, but Bronson Stafford falling back quickly here, all the way back to 9th after starting.
Yeah, he just hasn't had a good new restarts here to open up tonight's event, and definitely if we get a run here, we'll see exactly if Bronson has that speed to get by some of these guys in front of him, and look who's just in front of him. That's Corey Hoover now up from 10th to 8th, and methodically trying to figure out a way to get to the top 10. Other guys in front of him, Joseph Tice, Nick Mass, Michael Laraya, they battle side by side here. Despite all the bumps and the cold tires early on, seems like everyone's being pretty aggressive out there.
Yeah, that's really the only way to get these tires to really wear in is to drive them out here. You got to be aggressive on them, though. You can't give it all because they will just get superheated and get yourself in trouble. Side-by-side action. Taking a look, Austin Hartfell's already has a bit of damage on the back. It doesn't look so bad, but however, that spoiler is knocked up into the air just a bit there, so that might increase some of the drag. Potentially, though, might even tighten that car up just a bit, which could be beneficial here, considering these machines are pretty loose when it comes down to the exit of the corner. So we'll keep an eye on that damage here as we're still single file up front. Byron Daly has led all 6 laps so far with the teammate chat coming. And we'll just have to see how he holds on here as we go through the short chute once more. Shades here. Turning for the 9th here, and then number 38. He's under fire from Joe Lawrence. Rise there inside the top 5. All kinds of names up here battling for this top spot.
It's kind of a neat story on Shane Darian's part. Was not here the last couple of weeks. Tonight makes a return. He's up there in the top 5, so he's doing a nice job here. And I tell you who's also doing a nice job, that's Chad Coleman. Byron Daly battling side by side for the lead. An exact tie down to 3 decimal places showing on the scoreboard between these guys. A dead heat in turn 1.
Big dive out of Byron Daly to take the spot back away from Joe. And then now Joe Lawrence under fire from Nick Massey tonight.
Yeah, those top 3 or 4s are breaking away. Joe Lawrence, Nick Massey, as you said, Steve, going side by side. That's pretty much the first hardcore battle out there, at least up in the top 10. And now we're starting to see Joseph Tice give some help on the inside there, and Corey Hoover's in there as well. 4-car battle. Nick washes up a little bit there, and Joe will have the spot.
Now with Bradley Burke, he'll pop back in the line. They're not able to make the pass down the straightaway, so really the entire field now single file. And then looking back up front where it's still the 93 of Daly, once again getting around Coleman and trying to pull on away.
And those top 4 continue to break away while this battle pretty much for the 5th spot or so. Joe Lawrence, Nick Massey, Corey Hoover, they battle it out pretty intensely right here. I know Corey's got a fast car trying to come to the front. Joe Lawrence, Nick Massey, pretty much even, you could say, right now. They've been trading paint and trading positions the last couple of laps. Now Corey passes Nick, going to try and possibly push his teammate into turn 3 there, pretty much tell him to get going. But nonetheless, they sort it out, and they'll get back to single file.
Corey Hoover on the move right now, and he's doing a nice job trying to navigate around these guys. He wants to grab the top 5 here on his 78 teammate here to really be able to do it. He's not going to pop underneath him here, but he's lurking right on that back corner, so you got to keep your eye out because I've got a feeling his car might be top 5 right here tonight after having quite a few struggles.
Definitely, if Corey doesn't need any more determination, he can look at those standings, know he's got a better car, better team, and better potential than where he's at, and that's all he needs to really make some moves and show the fire. You could say underneath that helmet as he made a move there into turn 3, didn't work out, going to lose a spot. But I think, as you said, Steve, Corey Hoover's got a great car tonight, and with time, you could see him really toward the front.
Shane Tarian, on the other hand, is another driver to keep an eye on there. He's right up there with those top 3 and doing the best that he can, but he wants to get around that 20, just can't find his spot.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive what Shane's been able to do right now. Did not register a lap in practice. Ran a couple in qualifying, but still put it P4 on the starting grid, and he's up there out now in the top 3, hanging with the leaders. Running pretty much the same speeds each and every lap, right there with them in their tire tracks. It's been pretty impressive for Shane, especially on the new build. I can't imagine he's had a ton of time with all the other activities going on with him. So this is a nice job, and who knows, these two get together, or even if they fall off in the long run, this could be Shane's race.
Trying to watch right now and see it. It's very interesting how Corey Hoover, he did try to make that move on Lawrence, wasn't able to do so, and that allowed not only Lawrence back around him, but also Nick Massey in that 95. And now that Corey's back behind him, it looks like it's very stagnant out here to try to make those passes. It's very hard to get that run unless the driver makes a mistake. And that's what we're seeing right now with Bronson Stafford. He's got he's got the 5th fastest car on track right now, but he's running all the way back in 10th, or 9th, excuse me. And that number 39 just can't move anywhere.
It goes back to that whole preferred groove thing, turns 1 and 2. Seems like it's on the bottom. 3, it's more toward the middle, and try and arc it down to the bottom off the corner to carry that run down the front straightaway. And if everyone in front of you and behind you is running the exact same line, how are you supposed to make a pass is really the big question. And tonight, especially for Corey Hoover, since he's gotten into that top 5 or so, or at least around that area, it's becoming a very tough situation for him, and he's trying to make something work on that inside, but just doesn't have the momentum off.
Here we go. They're taking another look at this 3-car battle between this 95, the 78, the 33 of Hoover. They're all right there, right on top of each other. And it's like a slow up out of Joseph Tice. And Bronson Stafford got around him here. So just what I was talking about, now that he might have a little more air on that front nose, doesn't really have to worry about making the pass. We'll have to keep our eye on that thing to see if he starts working up towards it.
Could definitely be the case, especially if the 3 drivers in front of Bronson start to battle side by side. It's a pretty open door when it comes to making passes in those kinds of situations. We'll have to see how the long run plays out. But speaking of that, I just crossed the line for lap 16. It's been just over 10 laps now on this green flag run. So these guys have learned a lot so far. They kind of know how the car is going to react as the fuel load drops and these tires wear. So especially on this next pit stop, if we do get one under caution, if it's under green especially, look for these guys to come down, 4 tires and fuel, and really go out and fly what they've learned here on this first run.
Yeah, this opening run, especially with it being so far clean and green, is first caution. Oh, as Corey Hoover slips up, and he does a nice job there. That was right on the screen. That 33 was sideways, and he was able to keep it up and collected there, so very nice move on his part. Here is now Martin falls underneath, and Joseph Tice trying to make that move up into 9th here. He's not going to quite get clear, and now the 51, Bradley Burke wants in on the action. They look to the outside, very tight battle right here for about the 10th position.
Yeah, that's exactly one of the biggest things these guys are going to be fighting all night. Soft corner, Corey Hoover experiences it firsthand there, saves it, does a nice job to keep going, but as you said, Steve, still a heated battle back here around the 10th spot. Bronson Stafford just over Joseph Tice for now. Bradley Burke, Austin Hartenfels, they really can't seem to get away from each other. Been side by side the last couple of laps. Finally fall back in the line as these guys continue to battle.
Really tough, especially with the long straightaways here. Keeps the draft. These guys stay right on top of each other.
Yeah, they really do, Steve. And when they try and maybe pull out to make a pass at the end of the straightaway, they just don't get that momentum that they want to have. Pull out to the inside and make a pass on the inside lane. And even if they try to, it seems like that middle groove to even the higher groove through the turns, really any turn, gets the run off the corner and can kind of pinch that driver down and prevent them from making the pass on the inside. We've kind of seen that with Corey Hoover when he's trying to break into the top 5, hasn't been able to do so. So these guys just having to battle, especially on older tires, making passes.
Being 19 laps through this race, let's take a quick commercial break and we'll be back for some more here as we get ready for green flag pit stops.
We are 24 Designs, Jeff Gordon Graphics and more. We make custom graphics, logos, and even iRacing paint schemes. Check us out on the web at www.24-designs.com for requests today. Again, that is 24-designs.com. 24 Designs, where the best graphics are made.
A comm comes over the spectrum with a job. All it says is an amount of cargo, a delicate timetable, and a risky route. You know you've got 42 cubic meters to pack full of profit. We're talking pressurized and shock-resistant construction, so whatever you put in here comes out the same way. You got two Arc Duo 400 engines. Their award-winning colloid ion technology gives you maximum fuel efficiency while keeping your sig low. But with a weapons system featuring trusted names like Bering and Cronin, you aren't too worried.
Commercial vessel, Freelancer class. Red tags look good. Cleared for landing at Area 18.
You're the one they come to when they need a job done right. Because you trust one ship. Misk Freelancer. Built for life.
We are 24 Designs, Jeff Gordon Graphics and more. We make custom graphics, logos, and even iRacing paint schemes. Check us out on the web at www.24-designs.com for requests today. Again, that is 24-designs.com. 24 Designs, where the best graphics are made.
A comm comes over the spectrum with a job. All it says is an amount of cargo, a delicate timetable, and a risky route. You know you've got 42 cubic meters to pack full of profit. We're talking pressurized and shock-resistant construction, so whatever you put in here comes out the same way. You got two Arc Duo 400 engines. Their award-winning colloid ion technology gives you maximum fuel efficiency while keeping your sig low.
Here we are coming back as green flag pit stops have just now commenced for the drivers. And looks like 4 tires all the way around, going to be the common call. Didn't expect anything different here. Byron Daly brings it down after leading all 26 laps so far, and the remaining parts of the top 10 look to be coming in this time by as well.
Yeah, definitely an 80-lap race. Some guys thinking of different strategies, maybe taking tires, pitting earlier 4 tires, and maybe some of these guys trying to go as long as they can on fuel, maybe make one left pit stop if they can. I believe we had a spinner on pit road in the way background, hard to see, but looks like we'll stay green.
Right now, just a couple of drivers have not brought it down the top 4. Murphy, Laird, Haley, and Madonia. Everybody else has come down pit road. Doesn't look like Mark's going to bring it down this time. Going to take one lap let here.
Yeah, I definitely will, Steve. And to confirm, it was Paul Nicholas Cooper in the 46 car that went around at pit road entry. He gathers it back up and we stay green. Mark Murphy attempts to pull it down pit road. This should complete at least most of the green flag pit stops. Look like Chad McCollum in fifth will be the first driver on newer tires in the running order, leaving just Jamie Haley, JD Laird, and now Brandon Madonia as he makes his way down pit road. So now just 3 cars left.
That leaves just Mr. J.D. Laird out there with the oldest tires out in the books. Mark Murphy came down on our first caution tonight. At least he got some service done. That's number 23. He has been out there since lap number 1, and that's going to set him up possibly for a little bit of a weird strategy here at the end of the race, possibly allowing him to take 2 tires, cash in on a caution, something like that, but he's going to stay out there for 5 minutes.
Yeah, and I know firsthand, if you wait for that caution and it doesn't come, you lose quite a lot of ground. So definitely we're going to have to see what J.D. Laird elects to do here. If he brings it down pit road in the coming laps, or he stays out as long as he possibly can, despite the tire fall off that last lap for him. 58.3, I guarantee you some of those guys on newer tires, high 55s, even low 56 second bracket for just 1 lap. So that's 2 seconds just around this circuit that he's losing to some of the guys in the newer tires, and that's going to come back to bite him if we stay green from here on out. So J.D. Laird taking a risk, but definitely could reap some rewards if we get a caution here.
And actually, Jamie Haley, I do believe, is also another driver that's actually stayed out. He did come down pit road actually twice under that first caution for some reason. And he's currently still running out there with J.D. Laird. And I've got a feeling they're going to try to get as close to halfway as possible. And probably they're going to have to bank on some cautions towards the tail end of the race, something here to make some type of strategy work. It's really a push. You can only make it about 34 laps on fuel, I do believe. and JD Laird and that's the absolute max. That's even pushing it. So JD Laird's out there just driving on some borrowed time, I think, and we'll just have to see what happens for him.
And if Jamie Haley came down pit road, you would have to think, under the first caution, you'd have to think he might have a lap or two over JD Laird that he can go on green flag runs. But nonetheless, these guys, to really cut out a pit stop, would have to make it to lap 40, and I just don't see that happening for them. Everyone's going to have to visit pit road at least one more time in this race if it goes green to the end. So this is definitely a strategy call for track position, if anything. But if it doesn't work out, he's going to lose quite a bit.
Taking a look at some of the drivers that did benefit a bit on that last cycle of pit stops. Bronson Stafford, assuming Jamie Haley and JD Laird come down pit road within the next little bit here, that will actually be moved him up to the 6th position up in the track, and that's a nice improvement after starting top 5, fell outside the top 10 for a short while. So this number 39's been up and down throughout the night. Getting back to where he is very impressive, and we'll just have to see here as we're approaching halfway how he manages for the rest of the night.
Definitely, Steve, and I'm also curious to see how much of a gap we have between these drivers after their green flag stops. Even if you stop on the same lap, how you get into the pit road and get in and out of your pit box and then exiting pit road, there's time to be gained and lost there between each driver, and that can really separate some of the guys who get it and are able to hustle the car, and the others that maybe take it conservative or even get a speeding penalty. I don't think we saw anyone with a speeding penalty under the caution, or I should not say under the caution, under the green flag pit stops. So it'll just be interesting to see how those gaps are. JD Laird and former leaders of Byron Daly, Chad Coleman, now on the same straightaway. Despite how long they are, 8 seconds separates the two groups of drivers, and we'll have to see how long it takes the newer tires to catch up to JD Laird. That last time by, just about 2 seconds shaved off that lead. It's down to just 8 to 8.5. And we'll just have to see how long JD Laird elects to stay out. He's made it 34.5 laps right now. The question is, though, is when he's headed to pit road.
This right here should be the upper limit of that tank of gas. Probably has a lap and a half at the most.
Yeah, it all depends if he's been saving, maybe using the draft at one point in the run. It's really going to be interesting to see how long JD Laird elects to go. It might not be a bad call if he can make it to lap 40, but I think me, along with everyone else, would like to wonder how on earth he would do that. We'll just have to wonder and see, and you got to remind you, Jamie Haley as well talked about it a little bit ago on the same strategy, and he too is staying out there. Starting to see the former leaders of Byron Daly, Chad Coleman, start to approach Jamie Haley, and they could get around him on this next lap, and JD Laird's getting some lap traffic there. Just behind him, that's Jason Thompson, just fresh off pit road with some new tires. They'll go right around JD, and gotta think it's a handful, especially on this kind of track. It's an old surface, tons of bumps, and you're on older tires. JD's been struggling out there, but he's been willing to take that risk to lead some laps and ultimately hope for a caution. And just as I say that, you gotta be kidding me, we got a caution.
It looks like it's going to be for Mr. Colin Bowden there on the front straightaway. Just gets down, looks like loops it around, and we'll take a look at the replay.
I don't even know what just happened. Literally, as I say the word caution, we get a caution there. Tough break for Colin Bowden. Despite all that, though, still a tough break for Colin Bowden. Obviously, last week we should say, racing with a heavy heart. Still has the same paint scheme that he ran in Charlotte last week when he won there, supporting the colors of his late friend Dylan Brockwell, who passed away just a week ago here today. And definitely unfortunate for Colin. Probably not the night to be for him, but nonetheless, you gotta tip your cap to him, the effort, and also some respect there with the scheme.
Definitely unfortunate though here in the London Recreational Racing Pocono 200 here. We've had a pretty clean race so far. One quick caution at the start of the race. From there we've been green flag, and now this sets us up looking good to go all the way.
Yeah, this should definitely set everyone up. As long as they come down pit road, fill that tank up completely, and then do everything they can under this caution to save. It's going to be about 40 laps, a little bit less than that, here to reach lap 80. But you're going to have to think, especially if we get a caution at one point in this race, they should be good to go, especially what we just saw out of J.D. Laird. I just cannot believe that car didn't run out of fuel, or at least isn't sputtering down pit road. It looks like it's completely under power. Same with Jamie Haley. So that has to tell me these guys, they pit now, should be good to the end.
J.D. Laird, issues getting into his stall, making almost all of that hard work essentially pretty much useless out there for that number 23.
Has to probably do with tires, hasn't changed them all race, and when you stop on old tires, they lock up and slide. Unfortunate for JD. He'll lose quite a lot of time, but nonetheless, huge fight off pit road. And actually, just behind him, yep, J.D. Laird goes around as well, so the problems just pile on for Laird.
I'm not even entirely sure. I'll take a look at the replay here. Those cars blinking, having issues there. I'm taking a look. Looks like no contact. He just spins it around there. And that is how that happened.
Might have been out of frustration. Hardy knows he lost a ton of spots trying to make something happen in a hurry. Stands on the gas, unfortunately spins it out. So a bad situation turns to the worse for J.D. Laird. At least you got to think I don't see any damage on that car caused from that. But he'll lose literally all the track position he had, and he'll probably be one of the last cars left on the lead lap now. And if I just saw what I saw, I think the 29 of Austin Hartenfels just went around in the infield portion of turn 3. I don't know what exactly happened there. It looks like he doesn't hit that guardrail, but just spun out under caution.
We are 24 Designs, Jeff Gordon Graphics and more. We make custom graphics, logos, and even iRacing paint schemes. Check us out on the web at www.24-designs.com for a request today. Again, that is 24-designs.com. 24 Designs, where the best graphics are made.
A comm comes over the spectrum with a job. All it says is an amount of cargo, a delicate timetable, and a risky route. You know you've got 42 cubic meters to pack full of profit. We're talking pressurized and shock-resistant construction, so whatever you put in here comes out the same way. You got two Arc Duo 400 engines. Their award-winning colloid ion technology gives you maximum fuel efficiency while keeping your sig low. Across a couple of pirates.
Hey, Lancer, you know the drill.
But with a weapon system featuring trusted names like Bering and Cronin, you aren't too worried.
Getting ready to go back green flag racing here in the London Recreational Racing 200 here at Pocono Speedway. We're splitting this race halfway here as we get ready to go back to green flag racing.
Byron Daly going to be the leader. Ryan Dyson under the caution. Led some laps, brought it down pit road with a couple others toward the back end of the field, and that will set the restarting grid here for this next restart. Byron Daly, Joe Lawrence, Chad Coleman. They've been up front pretty much the entire night, and same with everyone else in the top 10 or so. No surprises there. It's who's got that speed in the second half of the race, though. That's really going to pay off here for the end. As the pace car's in, green flag's out, we're back underway here at Pocono. As everyone's side by side, almost serpentining down the front straightaway, trying to make something happen as Byron Daly goes to the outside, and he'll keep the lead.
It's a very crucial part of the race for these guys. They make a mistake, you might even see that caution, green caution is not acceptable. That's something that always got to be careful of seeing, especially stacking them up after a long green flag run. These guys have to get first turns on the mile, especially all packed up in the so
This gives a great chance for guys who did not run good in the beginning of the race, that made some ground up under that long green flag run, to be toward the front, bunched back up with the guys who are in front of them, and now a chance to move even further. And one guy that has a great example of that, that's Corey Hoover, back into the top 5, now into the 4th position. And he's doing a nice job up there, and also some others within that top 10. So we are single file pretty much from the top 15 across.
right there on the back bumper of Byron Daly, almost giving him a tap through turn 1 and 2, Shane.
Yeah, Joe Lawrence Lawrence, another great example, made some ground up. He is there battling for the lead, but Byron Daly's been rock solid all night, led a bunch of laps. It's going to be hard to pass that 93 car right now.
Yeah, I don't really think we've seen anyone be able to successfully pass and stay in front of Daly here. And I tell you what, he's leading our points right now, and you can definitely tell him. He's come out here every single week, dealt with adversity, dealt with all kinds of stuff, and still come out on top. If you take a look back in the field, they're weaving all over the place back there.
Yeah, the 5, Joseph Ice made some hard contact with that turn 3 wall. He pounded it pretty good, dropped all the way outside the top 10, and guys had to make some moves to get around that car. So unfortunate for Joseph, but we stay green nonetheless. Still pretty much single file up through the top 10. Byron Daly leads Joe Lawrence, Chad Coleman, Corey Hoover, and now Nick Massey. They're back in the 5th spot. These guys all just kind of riding in line now. They know they're toward the middle portions of the race. They're very fast. They've run plenty of laps around here tonight. And this is kind of the calm before the storm, you could kind of say. If we see some late race cautions or battles, this is that point in the race before then where these guys just trying to calm down and prepare themselves for the final half of this race.
Joe Lawrence, after taking over that 2nd spot, really wasn't able to do much with the track position here, and now Chad Coleman looks to take back over that spot.
And he'll dive to the bottom and do so successfully. It's Joe will slot just in front of his teammate Hoover there, and looks like no harm, no foul.
Mark Murphy battles back there from 9th with Hardenfels. Hardenfels in that 29 does not give it up. I didn't think that he would, but he's holding on pretty darn tough.
Yeah, it definitely is in Austin, and he's doing a nice job regardless of the night he's had. He's very consistent, right around that top 10, and even with some damage he's dealt with early on, looks like the team's done a pretty good job of fixing that. He hasn't had a lot of time on pit road. It might actually, as you said before, Steve, be helping that car with the loose condition, tighten it up a little bit. This is the best Austin's been running, and if he keeps moving forward, could definitely be a solid night for that team. Byron Daly, the leader, starting to check out into his own zip code, you could call it. He's that fast, pulling away from teammate Chad Coleman. And back behind them, Joe Lawrence and Corey Hoover battle it out. That's about a second to just over a second back up the lead. And this is pretty much a dominating performance by anyone up here in the top 5. They've been there all night, been solid, consistent. They find themselves in a great chance here to pull something out in the late going. And talking about some of the guys moving forward, Michael Araya has been one of the drivers moving backward. He was in the top 5 early portions of this race and just faded after that green flag pit stop. Didn't have the greatest of exchanges then and fell down a couple of spots. Finds himself in 7th, now battling side by side with Bradley Burke there. But he's still in a good position as Michael, just not quite as high as he's been all night. And I definitely think he's got a chance here if this race continues on in green to gain some spots and get that car back in the top 5.
Chad Coleman, though, I am watching him. And over the past few laps, that number 20 has consistently started to chase down Byron Daly. And I really do think that this 20, being the fastest car on track right now, has the car to get in front of Daly, but can he stay there? It's really tough to make those passes and stay there, considering anytime you make the pass, you almost automatically have to leave the door open for a crossover, simply just because of how this place works.
Absolutely, and you also have to factor in the whole draft situation. Chad Coleman only half a second back of Byron. He's getting a huge amount of draft, especially down these long straightaways. That is a great opportunity to close in on the lead, but does he have the car, as you said, Steve, to make that pass, to slot in front, and ultimately hold that lead that Byron's been able to do all night? They've battled before, but ultimately Byron Daly's been shown to have the better car at the moment. And out there in the lead in clean air, I think it's going to be difficult for even Chad to make a move on the lead.
Just trying to watch this battle up here with 30 laps to go. Trying to figure what does anyone need to do to make a move.
Well, Chad Coleman's got some field leader, but everyone else from third on back, the first thing you need to do is to make a move is to get faster, I guess you could say, because Byron Daly's out there setting some pretty amazing pace and basically pulling away from the rest of the single file pretty much throughout the first top 10. Everyone's using some drafts, but ultimately riding in line, and it's going to take a lot of speed from someone behind Byron to get up beside him, make a pass, and as the race has been going right now, under 30 laps to go, it's going to be pretty difficult. Great lap last time by Chad Coleman, basically cut that lead in half that it was at the previous lap and Byron Daly. And we'll just have to see here. Chad is getting as close as he's been right now into this run. And he might ride in line, save some tires, or he might for the lead, try and get that clean air. We'll just have to wait and see.
Let's take a moment to talk about Corey Uber as he battles Nick Massey all the way back right now in fourth, about 4 seconds back from the top spot. He needs to start getting some consistent finishes here if he wants to chase a shot at really the championship. And it's not simply because of the points. Those get reset once we get our elimination rounds going. It's the momentum, it's the frustrations here that Corey Uber is going to have, as it's been a long season for him so far. And he's had a lot of bad luck in the past few weeks. Luckily, the pressure might not necessarily be on him too hard, but he needs to definitely have some consistency here going into the final races.
There's also some keynotes to that. The two races he's had big problems at, Atlanta, Charlotte, those are mile-and-a-half racetracks. We'll definitely see one or two more of those before the chase and definitely in the chase. So we'll have to see how Corey does there. He's always fast. And the unfortunate thing about this racetrack, it's the only time you'll see it all season. So if you run good at Pocono, that's pretty good. But it's just one of those weird, unorthodox racetracks where you really can't take a lot from here and apply it to other racetracks. But as you said, Steve, there is one thing you can, and that's momentum. Absolutely, if you run well here, that'll bring your confidence up for everywhere else.
Stafford, another driver to keep your eye on. He's right now working on Mariah. And he's going to get caught up on the high side here, possibly go for the crossover. Contact being made there. He'll be able to keep it up off the outside wall. In front of him, a three-car battle for position as Corey Hoover makes it up back to third.
Great move by Corey there. Joe Lawrence trying to make a pass as well. But just going back to there, what happened between Bronson Stafford and Michael Laraya, that's the kind of stakes we're at in this race. They're battling so hard for that one group, that inside line, that they made some contact there. That's when you know we're getting down late in the race, and these guys, the given is over. It's now take.
And now with just 25 laps to go, drivers like Austin Martin-Fells and Sigler in 9th have a very slow day. And the last car on the lead lap, let's talk about Ryan Dyson here. This number 28, the Our Expression Studio machine, not sure what the issue's been all night long on this 28, but really he's just driving around right now extremely off the pace. There's no damage to the machine, but just very off the pace.
Yeah, that's a very interesting story on Ryan. Don't know if it's a handling issue, if there's something wrong with the engine, or if Ryan's just taking it easy, maybe expecting a caution. Really, we don't know exactly what's going on there, but tough break for him running back there in the 25th spot nonetheless.
Colin Bowden trying to recover after that spin he had to bring up the last caution. He's trying to work back up to the 19th now as he gets around Jamie Haley. But then number 89 after a great win last week, I don't really see him being able to do much here tonight, especially being so far behind after traffic.
Yeah, definitely just not the night be for Colin, but he'll remember last week, that's for sure. That gave him a ton. Remember, I don't know if they have a points ruling here if you have to place a certain amount. I don't know if Colin's running the entire season. I don't think he has so far, but that win would give him a chase spot, and that's something important to note for Colin and the rest of his season. Just run some races here, collect some points, and you'll be in the chase with a chance to win the championship regardless of what happens tonight. So that in itself is pretty welcoming to have. Starting to see a group drivers bring it down pit road, kind of unexpected, but it's J.D. Laird, Bradley Burke, Bronson Stafford, and others.
And I'm not entirely sure on this one being since you can't make it all the way on fuel, so these guys coming down on pit road, they must be expecting everyone else to have to come down or a caution or something.
They're probably banking on some teams maybe not getting the gas tanks full, or maybe the fact that you can't make it. But what we saw at J.D. Laird and Jamie Haley before, that you could definitely make it, as you said, Steve, from that caution if you saved under the previous yellow after you came down pit road. So that's kind of an interesting call. And now another group of drivers comes down pit road. Pretty much most of the top five there. Nick Massey, Joe Lawrence, Bradley Burke, and others.
Well, I'm not entirely sure what the true strategy is, but everyone seems to be following it, so we'll just see how it all works out.
And they haven't gone that long on tires, especially how long this pit road is. I don't know if you taking tires and splitting the run in half like we see at other racetracks would work at Pocono. But if everyone's coming down pit road at this kind of a rush, that must mean they think they can't make it. They don't have enough fuel. But what I've been seeing, it's been 4 tires and fuel, so this might be a combination of both fuel and just the fact of how bad the fall off is.
Well,
But our leaders...
Go. We're going to take this commercial break right here, probably the last one of the night. When we come back, we'll take it to finish, update you on how everyone came out of pit road, and we'll take a look at what things look like in the final 16 laps or so.
We are 24 Designs, Jeff Gordon Graphics and more. We make custom graphics, logos, and even iRacing paint schemes. Check us out on the web at www.24-designs.com for requests today. Again, that is 24-designs.com. 24 Designs, where the best graphics are made.
A comm comes over the spectrum with a job. All it says is an amount of cargo, a delicate timetable, and a risky route. You know you've got 42 cubic meters to pack full of profit. We're talking pressurized and shock-resistant construction, so whatever you put in here comes out the same way. You got 2 Arc Duo 400 engines. Their award-winning colloid ion technology gives you maximum fuel efficiency while keeping your sig low. Across a couple of pirates.
Hey, Lancer, you know the drill.
But with a weapon system featuring trusted names like Bering and Kronik, you aren't too worried.
look good. Cleared for landing at Area 18.
You're the one they come to when they need a job done right. Because you trust one ship. Misk Freelancer. Built for life.
Alright, here we go. 16 laps remain. Shane and Les get the race update on what we're looking at, where we're at, and how things might play out here. Corey Hoover, driver of the number 33, currently still out on track here. We're going to come across the line. He's going to stay out with about 15 laps to go. Shane, what do you think of this?
Well, if you're Corey Hoover, this is your strategy call. You are going to the end if you have not pitted now. Coming down pit road right now would pretty much be pointless. You would lose a ton of track position because you've been out here on older tires compared to some of these other guys. And it would basically be the wrong thing to do if you're Corey. So he's going to stay out to the end. That's his strategy call. And, he's in the lead right now. He's got a pretty decently sized lead over Jacob Adams, who's also on the same strategy. It's just the question is, in these final 15 laps, is this the right call over some of these guys who took tires? But it's definitely going to be interesting here. Pretty much the update we're seeing, the first car is on fresher tires. From the looks of it, Nick Massey is currently in 10th, is 25.5 seconds off of Corey Hoover. That would mean in the closing laps here, he's going to have to gain well over a second per lap to catch Corey, and there's also tons of traffic in front of him. So this is going to be close. It's going to be tough. If we get a caution, it's going to sort all kinds of things and pretty much throw the strategy out the window. But we'll just have to see how it all plays out.
Yeah, it is going to be interesting here for sure, Shane, and I'm a little intrigued to see what the strategy is going to be like out of these guys, because these the top five, Corey Hoover, Adams, Bowden, Wright, and Haley, they have no reason to come down, and just as I say that, we have caution.
We jinxed it again the second time tonight. Not the greatest, but there you go. Caution's out and that's going to throw the strategy out the window, give instant track position to those guys who stayed out, and now the question is do you pit or do you not pit?
Yeah, let's take a look at this replay. That 38 of Shane Terrians who went around, and he did a nice job keeping control of it as long as he did, but that number 38, once it decided it was going around, that was that about it. So
Yeah, coming from pit road.
We're gonna
coming from pit road.
We can't talk.
No, I can't, Steve. Sorry, I just had to butt in real quick. I just got to report Shane Terrian took 2 tires under that pit stop, and the car was very loose, so that might have been the cause there.
But this will set us up, Shane, for probably a 10-lap shootout to the finish, and that is going to make things interesting because depending on these drivers right here, just trying to take a look at it. Do you come down pit road if you came down pit road 5 laps ago? What do you do?
Well, I'd have to think Corey Hoover, Jacob Adams, pretty much down to Trevor Ropack in the 8th spot. You're on older tires. It could be a second or 2 slower, literally, how slow it is, and you're almost going to pretty much be eaten up in 1 lap or so out there. They have to pit, so they're coming to pit road. But look at that. everyone else who's pretty much came to pit road a couple laps ago as well, bringing it down pit lane, explains how important these tires are, and if that's the case, this is going to be a huge payoff call for those guys who stayed out.
Yeah, anyone that stayed out is going to definitely benefit big time.
Then again, we could see some 2 tires, we'll have to see, but for the most part, it looks like 4.
Yeah, looks like 2 tires out of Byron Daly there, and I can't say that's a bad call at all. But for drivers like Corey Hoover, Jacob Adams, they were able to take 4 tires and come out right there, right behind Byron Daly.
This gives arguably the fastest car of the evening, or of the morning, you could say. That's seen in this race. Some track position and also some clean air, so that's a great call by Byron. But like I said, once again, those guys who stayed out, they have the track position. The question is can they hold it here?
Let's talk to that in-race reporter, Corey Hoover. Over to you, Shane.
Got a copy, Corey?
I got you. I got you guys.
Alright, well, there you go. Took a big-time strategy call and ends up working out for you. What was the decision there to go ahead and stay out?
I thought I'm already in the elimination. Why not roll the dice, as they always say? But yeah, it worked out pretty well for once.
Yeah, definitely did. Now we're going to get green here. It looks like it's going to be under 10 laps to go. What do you think you have here for Byron Daly? He's been one of the fastest cars out here tonight.
Yeah, he's certainly been really, really fast all night and through practice and qualifying. Of course, he's got the he started on front row. But yeah, I think he took 2 on that last one. I heard my teammates say that 2 tires is not the way to go. Said it was too loose. So not hoping bad luck on him, but might be a bad call.
Yeah, we'll just have to wait and see. And also talking about some of the differentiating racing lines we've seen out there today. How tough is it to make a pass? And really, if you can, what is the best place to make a pass?
Yeah, you just kind of have to line, wait for the right moment to pass. And I'm actually been shifting late in the run because the tires have just fallen off to where you can't even pick up any speed off of turn number 1. So yeah, I've been shifting down into 3rd in turn 1 and then getting a nice run. Short run should be fun though.
Definitely should as we get ready here. Get the green with under 10 laps to go. Thanks for talking with us, Corey. Good luck out there.
Thank you.
This will be an interesting restart here as we're going to get the 1 to go probably this time by, and boy, 10 lap shootout.
Yeah, this is definitely different than what we've seen so far tonight. Had that quick caution on the first lap basically for Justin Munseal, and then a very long green flag run. That had to have been almost half the race we went green. Seen a couple cautions since, some kind of runs, and also another set of green flag pit stops, but now it is a shootout style race, and if you have a good short run car or good on the short run, this is your chance to shine for sure.
But if you have just now tuned in, you are tuned in to the London Recreational Racing Sportsman Series here, the London Recreational Racing Pocono 200 here live on CFI. We're going to have 9 laps to go when the field goes back to green flag.
Just want to mention some of the names that really benefited from staying out. We've talked about Corey Hoover. Jacob Adams hasn't had the greatest of really tonight, but he's up there in the top 3 now with a chance to shine. Joseph Tice up into 4th, that benefited him a lot. How about Colin Bowden and Jamie Haley? They were outside the top 15, almost around 20th or so. They're up there now. And how about Chris Wright as well? He was a lap or 2 down at one point in this race, hadn't said a word about him. And there he is in the 7th spot from the 5th starting spot, and he's got a chance to get up there and finish really well. Getting ready for the rear, Trevor Roppolo, Jason Thompson, two other guys, 8th and 9th, that benefited from staying out there. They're in the top 10 in the closing laps with Corey Hoover, the new leader on the inside lane, as we're back to green flag racing.
Where is everybody going to go? Colin Bowden making it 3 wide down to the turns 1 and 2 there. Will everyone stick? He's got to back out of it. That's going to make the whole field stack up.
And that is exactly what you can do at Pocono, is use as much of the racetrack as you can, and they are 3, 4, even 5 wide possibly back there as the front two battle for the lead.
And we're going to be 3 wide through the short chute here. That's not going to work. Ryan Dyson slams his teammate Hartenfels hard into the outside wall. We're going to be under caution.
Jason Thompson also caught in that one as well. Tough break for a ton of drivers. Just 3 wide in that short turn, not going to work.
Not sure where anyone thought that was going to work. Chris Wright tag 29 and that, or 28, excuse me, and that bumps him just up right into the mix, and that sends everyone around. JD Laird gets involved in that one.
Got Alan Cryer, Madonia, Mark Murphy, and then I actually see also the 95 of Nick Massey. Some of the guys who were up into the top 5 at one point involved in that one.
Yeah, that is definitely heartbreaking for those guys. Needed another good night. Ryan Dyson just had an awful few weeks here in the series. Same goes with a lot of these drivers. Bronson Stafford somehow made it through that no problem, but tough break for everybody else.
And Ryan's car looks okay, but he's definitely probably a little bit upset there, and upset with himself as well. Puts a teammate in the wall of Austin Hartenfels, and big wreck there in turn 2. There is not a lot of room. How big this track is, turn 2 is not big at all. There's really only 2 grooves you can take to even get the car to make the turn. If you try and make it 3 wide, that outside car is not going to make that turn. That's pretty much for sure, especially on the older surface. And they just ran out of room right there.
Well, we'll take our final commercial break of the night here, and when we come back, we're either going to the checker or we're going to the next caution.
We are 24 Designs, Jeff Gordon Graphics and more. We make custom graphics, logos, and even iRacing paint schemes. Check us out on the web at www.24-designs.com for requests today. Again, that is 24-designs.com. 24 Designs, where the best graphics are made.
A comm comes over the spectrum with a job. All it says is an amount of cargo, a delicate timetable, and a risky route. You know you've got 42 cubic meters to pack full of profit. We're talking pressurized and shock-resistant construction, so whatever you put in here comes out the same way. You got 2 Arc Duo 400 engines, Their award-winning colloid ion technology gives you maximum fuel efficiency while keeping your sig low. You come across a couple of pirates.
Hey, Lancer, you know the drill.
But with a weapons system featuring trusted names like Bering and Kronik, you aren't too worried.
Commercial vessel, Freelancer class. Red tags look good. Cleared for landing in Area 18.
You're the one they come to when they need a job done right. Because you trust one ship. Misk Freelancer. Built for life.
We are 24 Designs, Jeff Gordon Graphics and more. We make custom graphics, logos, and even
one more restart here tonight, and this is going to be the big one.
This is Steve, and for these drivers, you've raced this entire race, you've done what you can, but here you are in the closing stages. This is going to be just under 5 laps to go. You have to hit it right. You miss a shift, you spin the tires, you do something that doesn't help you win. You're going to the back, and here we go, green flag, Corey Hoover, Byron Daly, the front row. Huge jump by Byron, and Corey's getting swallowed alive almost.
Yeah, just got caught off guard there and down to the inside. Looks like that's going to be that number 5 of Tice. Won't have enough room. Trevor Roppolo knocked up into the outside wall. He's going to have to keep it up off that outside. We're going to make it through 1 and 2. This time nobody wrecks. Down into the short chute. Here we go.
Still fighting hard back there are Jamie Haley, Corey Hoover, plenty other guys making some moves. Bronson Stafford's going to the front. Chad Coleman's headed to the back, unfortunately. But through all of this, Byron Daly, see ya up front. He's checking out.
An absolutely incredible job there on the restart. Always we're wrecking in the back. That's going to be the wrecks.
And there you go, Byron Daly's going to take home the win. We'll have to first wait and see what that caution's about.
That was Chad Coleman and Uriah that just got together.
Yeah, it's a tough break for Chad, and that's actually a huge wreck. We'll see the replay. Michael Uriah, the whole 2 tires come off the ground. That's how hard he hit that outside wall.
That will wrap it up here pretty much. We'll end this thing under caution, Shane, unfortunately. But what a finish for Jacob Adams in that number 19 Gatorade machine. Jamie Haley, Joseph Titan. What a comeback for Bronson Stafford, Colin Bowden even. It's a really good night for a lot of guys.
Definitely is, and I want to talk about a season-changing race. Some of the guys in the top 5, this could very well be that. Especially for Corey Hoover. Finishes 3rd here tonight. Great points, great momentum. This will be a nice solid finish for him. And obviously Byron Daly continues to show that dominance all season. Another win in the tier. This could be big.
As we ride around right now, getting ready to wrap this thing up, I'll get a ring in with now our 2nd place finisher on the night. It's going to be Jacob Adams in this number 19 machine. Jacob, it's Steve up in the booth. Do you got it?
Yeah, Steve, I got you.
I tell you what, all you got to do now is make it around 2 more times around the tricky triangle here, about 75, 80, 90 miles an hour, and you're going to come away with 2nd place finish here tonight. Take us through the race.
Yeah, it was a rough night. I ran about 15 the race and felt like I had a pretty fast car. Tried to play the strategy there and make it a little better than it was, and I definitely did get 2nd out of it. Definitely needed that for how this season's gone.
Well, with the race being such an interesting change in the weather, how things look out here, just the dynamics of the racing altogether have changed greatly over the past few seasons. What does this feel like to you leading up to the next bit of the season here? We've still got a few races to make it in the chase, stuff like that. What do you think this number 19's got to do here coming through the rest of the season?
I think we've definitely got to keep the runs up that we just got here 2nd. I think top 5's the rest of the way, but we've got a few road courses coming up, so not too thrilled about that, but we'll have to survive those and try and pick up a win.
Just getting ready to wrap this up, of course, but who do you have to thank for making that number 19 have such a successful night here?
Definitely my teammates, Chris, Jamie, Michael, Gatorade, everybody at Pepsi, just everybody that's on board here. It's been a pretty bad season, but it's nice to turn around here.
All right, Jacob, thanks for coming up here to talk to us.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
And then Shane, we're catching up with you.
Yeah, back with Corey Hoover here. Corey, you got a copy?
Yeah, I got you guys.
Alright, well there you go. Great job out there finishing 3rd here tonight. Kind of take us through those final restarts and final laps, how crazy it was.
Yeah, the first one I felt like I got a good restart. Byron pulled me just the slightest bit getting into 2, but he ran a good race. Congratulations to him. But yeah, that last restart, he just, in my opinion, he didn't really get close enough to the pace car, but he does kind of bring up a good point where people were timing the green and they were all bunching up getting into turn 1. So good night. Glad I got a top 5, and that was better than what we were running earlier in the race, so I'm satisfied.
Definitely, and talk about how different the car is. I know you guys raced pretty conservatively early on, but definitely toward the end you were pushing 110%. Did the car change at all the more you kind of pushed it and ran the tires off of it?
Yeah, it started to slide up more. Not really loose, it just felt free getting in and coming off, really. Just felt like a 4-wheel slide when you're like 20 or 25 laps in. But it's really free, well, I should say more loose on fresh tires rather than when you're late into a run. So yeah, you can definitely feel the difference with this, I guess the new aero package that Hard Racing's brought.
Definitely, and also, what is this finish going to do here for the championship and the standings in general? You already have that win for the chase berth, but in general, this has to be a pretty good momentum race for you, don't you think?
Yeah, I'm glad I got the win off my back already. This race certainly brought my hopes up for the weeks to come, and we have a road course coming up next, so it's actually in 2 weeks as we're off next week. But yeah, I'm looking forward to the next week. I've had a couple of bad races, but hopefully this will bring us back.
All right, definitely, Corey. Before we let you go, any sponsors or shout-outs you want to thank for tonight's finish?
Yeah, absolutely. Got to thank Hunt Brothers Pizza for sticking with us. Our Expression Studios for painting these good cars. Schroth for sticking in. They actually give me some test parts from them with some new racing belts and stuff like that. So awesome that we have them on board.
Yeah, it's definitely awesome. All right. Thanks for talking with us, Corey. Great job out there tonight.
All right, guys. Have a good night. Thanks, guys.
Well, let's take a look at the overall results of the night here on the screen. Byron Daly brings it home. Jacob Adams in second, Corey Hoover, Jamie Haley, Joseph Tice, Colin Bowden, Stafford, fifth Mason Wright, Joe Lawrence rounds out the top. Looking a bit further, then we've got Bradley Burke, Ryan Dyson, who does get a bit of a comeback after having a dismal start to the race. Shane Terrian, Trevor Rockwell, disappointed for fifth place in points, Alan Pryor, Chad Coleman, Thomas Stories, Mark Murphy, Nick Massey, and Michael Araya. There another driver right up inside the top five, including J.D. Laird, Bedonia, Thompson. Tough night for a lot of guys. Shane, final thoughts?
Well, definitely, Steve. The lot here tonight, especially on the new build. First race for these guys on the newer build, and also newer track box. All kinds of different changes, especially in the lighting and the atmosphere for these guys to get used to. They did a nice job accomplishing that. Also, plenty of different tire strategies we saw. But ultimately, the guys who stayed out there caught the caution at the right time, stole the track position, and gave Byron Daly a run for his money, you could say. But ultimately, Byron had the better car tonight, dominated, led the most laps, and takes home the victory. And he'll remain the points leader and pretty much the hottest guy here in the UpperEdge Racing League.
Yeah, by far. If there were we're looking at power rankings, he'd definitely be right on top. So we'll just have to keep an eye on how things shake out over the next few weeks. Next week, of course, is an off week, so that gives us a little bit of time until we go back to the left and the rights at our next road course. But here tonight, we are signing off. Thanks for tuning in.